Hey YouTube, what up? Long time no see. It's Lucky Luke 5392 here. I haven't been around lately. I've been busy with my life, work and school and all that hoo-ha. But I finally finished that long Covade alien profile that you guys have been wanting to see. I finished the deck. It's ready for right here, and I've actually not been doing too bad with it. I took locals by storm with it this weekend. Took first place on Friday. Got top 8, I think, on yesterday. And I did take it to a regional, but I wasn't prepared to play the deck because I just picked it up and finished it the night before, so I misplayed like a motherfucker. But let's get right down to this. I'm gonna explain these things as I go. We're gonna explain the alien engine first. We have 3 alien ammonite, 2 alien warrior, and 3 alien shock trooper. And the shock troopers are because we play rescue rabbit in the deck. Now, the way the tuner works is you summon him when he's normal summoned, you activate his effect, you target any of the level 4 alien cards in your graveyard, you special summon it to the field, and it becomes a free level 5 synchro. And that is how you go into your boss monster. It's pretty easy once you finally get the hang of it. For other cards, we play 3 Photon Thrasher. For Exceed setup, you can go, if you open like any of your level 4s, you just special Thrasher, go Alien Warrior, and you Exceed into your wonderful Searcher card. Otherwise, this is a big beater, free level 4 on the field, and it's pretty as hell. So, other support cards, we're playing Honest because there's a lot of lights in this deck. Mass Chameleon because he's a Thrasher as a chameleon target, and he's a level 8 Synchro, rank 4 Exceed, just a really good card. We play the Rescue Rabbit to bring out the Shock Troopers, and 1 Thunder King for the anti-meta. We're going to get out of the spells. We play triple Deck Lockdown. This card screws so many decks, it's actually kind of funny. I even have the capacity to play things like Duality under this and Thunder King because I forget it's on the field half the time, but that's because I'm a scrub. So we're going to go and introduce the dualities, 2 Lances, because the Lance is a really good card for this kind of deck. Dark Hole, and the card doesn't want to agree with me here, and a Foolish Burial, in case you just happen to open an Ammonite in your opening hand or something like that, and you just need to have an alien in the graveyard. Or one time I actually had a really good play where at the regional I had top deck Foolish, had a Call of the Haunted set, and I Foolished Honest, used Call of the Haunted for Honest, brought Honest back, bounced him back to my hand, and then summoned Thunder King and sat on him, and that was actually a really good play. And had I attacked with that Thunder King, I probably would have won the game. But anyway, we're trap heavy here. We're playing 3 Fiendish Chain, 3 Call of the Haunteds. This is where my specialty little thing here kicks in, because I actually looked at the deck list that Japan, it happened in Japan, I believe. The OCG list, I kind of started working off of that. These weren't made. I thought they should have been made. But 2 Vanity's Emptiness because dragons. 2 Offering the Snake Deity because pluses. Not really pluses, but if I often use this card when they go and they try to bottomless or torrential or something, and I just ended up flipping this card and I hit an alien on my side of the field and I blow up a back row or something. 2 Mirror Force, 1 torrential, 1 bottomless, 1 compulse. There's no warning. I don't want to waste any more life points than I need to, and I feel like I have enough heat in this deck to stop anything they can really bring out as long as I have it at the time. So we're going to go into the extra deck. I'm playing 2 King of the Feral Imps. This card, detach 1 material. You can add any 1 reptile monster from your deck to your hand. So you go turn 1, you somehow, get a Thrasher and a Shock Trooper or something out. Overlay into this guy, detach your... First you would detach your Shock Trooper because you need your Ammonite first. And then... and then you go ahead... Sorry about that, I had something in my throat. You go ahead and you add to your hand and you have him sit. You set your 5 back row like you always do. And then next turn, if it's still there, which it probably won't be, but if it is, you detach your Photon Thrasher and you add the Chameleon because then you can use the Chameleon. If you don't have a Thrasher on here, don't add the Chameleon because I would rather top deck a Chameleon than add it to my hand when there's no Thrashers in the graveyard, because if there's no Thrashers in the graveyard, it's a very dead card. Other than that, you just want to see, that's like one of the first things you want to get out. It just makes your setup a lot easier. We play 1 Gemini Pearl because we don't like Ophion at all. and he gets over like Finish Chain and things like that. One Black Ship of Corn, one Lavalval Chain, and I play Lavalval Chain, and at first I wasn't sure about this card, but then I looked at it, and I played with it, and I found out that its main use is to stack Ammonite when you have Deck Lockdown or Thunder King on the field. So that's what makes this a really interesting pick and a good card for this deck. We play one Daigusta Emerald because we play vanillas, and we don't mind recycling our cards that much. One Maystroke because Maystroke is good. Cowboy because Cowboy is Cowboy, and honestly, when I wasn't playing Cowboy, I was wishing I was playing Cowboy. The card I had here before Cowboy was a Direwolf. Direwolf is okay. It really, you can get around Necro Valley and things like that, but honestly, that's why we play the offerings of the Snake Deity. On to the Synchro Monsters. I'm going to explain we have 2 Golgar here. I'm going to explain these to you guys real quick. The first effect is to target any number of face-up spell or trap cards on the field, and then when you resolve the effect, you bounce them all back to the hands of whoever's field they were on. Then you place 8 counters on the field according to how many cards you bounce back. His second effect is once per turn, you remove 2 8 counters from anywhere on the field and destroy 1 card on the field. I don't play the Ancient Ruins loop with this deck because I don't feel that it works with the stall and stun effect that the deck is going for, so I don't feel like it's worth trying to play. But this card keeps your deck lockdowns infinitely live. It keeps your Vanity's Emptinesses always live. It keeps, your Fiendish Chain. You just negate the effect and then bounce it back. You can call the Haunted something, synchro with it, and then bounce it back. And then you could do so much nutty things with this card if you have it going. It's really silly. The other 2 level 5s I play are Armides and Catastor. I don't find myself playing Catastor very much anymore, but it's still there because it is a good card. And Armides is the nuts, because usually you find yourself in a bad spot in this deck. As much as I hate to admit it, but Armides is not a bad card to have because it just stops them from doing anything to you. For the Chameleon Synchros, we play 1 Blader, 1 Stardust, 1 Scrap Dragon, generic level 8s. I don't really do level 8s that much. I haven't even, out of all the times I played the deck, I haven't even gotten to use Chameleon for its Synchro ability. And if I have, I think I've gone to the Scrap Dragon like once. But you don't really use it that often, so it's not really, you don't need to dedicate any room to the deck for it. But there are options there. Onto the side deck that I'm playing. Given the meta that I'm dealing with, I'm playing 2 Effect Veilers, 2 Maxis, and my newest addition is 2 Fossil Dynas. These things are ridiculously awesome, especially against the Dragon matchup. You need as much hate as you possibly get because this deck automatically loses to them if you don't have Vanities or if they just start going and you don't draw much back row to get rid of them, because even though you're getting through their stuff and they're getting through your back row, the Dragons still end up in the graveyard and they still end up being a problem. So things like Fossil Dyna it's really good to have on hand. The spells, I side 2 MSTs because, like I said, I'm playing Offering of the Snake Deity, and Golgar blows things up for free, more or less, anyway. So I have 2 Decree, which is the same thing as a bounceable trap stun. It's what it does with Golgar on the field. You can just bounce it every turn and then wait for your own traps to activate, and then you can flip Decree whenever they cause a problem. You play 2 Shadow Imprisoning Mirrors for anything that runs dark. Gravekeepers are a big problem for this deck because it's so graveyard reliant. Also, I would side these in against, maybe Evil Swarms. They don't really activate that much, but, just to have something in against them. And any other, rogue deck that plays dark monsters. You play 2 Imperial Iron Walls for dragons and spellbooks and all the like. Notice that, like the Soul Drain here, notice that most of the cards, trap-wise, that I'm playing are all continuous, so they're all Golgar targets. That's what makes these cards really synergistic. Before, I was trying things like Prohibition and Messenger of Peace and stuff, but it didn't do anything, and they just weren't helpful at all. So that's the deck, guys. I hope to hear what you all think about it. Just leave a comment, hit subscribe, hit like, whatever you guys got to do. I'm going to be putting up maybe 1 more profile for Fire Fists fairly soon, and I thank you all for watching. Ta-ta!